So, good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming to today's seminar. I am Vincent Paul Bacalso, your presentation for today's seminar. So, I will be discussing to you all multi-agent system framework. So, a brief overview about this seminar. So, I will be talking to you what CrewAI is, how do we create a multi-agent system using this framework, the advantages and disadvantages. So what is CrewAI? So CrewAI is a framework that allows you to create multi-agent systems. So think of it like creating your own dream team, but instead of humans, the team that you will be creating are autonomous agents with their own set of skills, tasks, and they all work together towards a common goal. So how do we create a multi-agent system? So to do that, let's move to my notebook. So to do that, uh, we install CrewAI, the framework itself, the CrewAI tools, which allows us to use the tools within the framework, and the LangChain community, LangChain Grok, and LangChain Hugging Face. So you don't really need these three. I just like to use them because it is efficient for me to interact with LLMs. So we import. So next we import the CrewAI package, and we import these following classes: the crew, task, agent, and process. So these classes are the core concepts of this framework. So next, you import your API keys to your environment variables. So to give context, what I will be trying to do to show you CrewAI's capability is I will be creating a two agents, and they will work together to formulate an answer based on my query. So in my case, I will be using CrewAI's PDF search tool, but you don't really need to use tools. I am simply using this for the sake of this presentation. So note, this isn't required in the framework. I am just using this for the sake of the presentation. So in my PDF search tool, I will be configuring my large language model using Google Gemini, and I will be using an embedder from Hugging Face. So as you can see, when I run this object using this query, it outputs this answer. So this answer is based on the PDF that I passed it here, as you can see. So now let's instantiate our large language model for our agents. So in my case, I will be using the chat OpenAI class to instantiate my model. So using the Grok Llama 3 as a model, I will be using that for my large language model. So you may ask why I am using the chat OpenAI class, but my model is Llama. So chat OpenAI and Grok Llama are two compatible models. So that is why I am able to use Grok through chat OpenAI class. So now let's move on to creating our agents. So as what I've mentioned a while ago, I will be creating two agents, namely research agent and reporter agent. So in the agent object, you have three required attributes. So namely role, goal, and backstory. So the role is simply the agent's specific function and expertise within the crew. The goal defines the agent's primary objective, and the backstory offers additional context for the agent's role and goal. So think of backstory as giving your agent a personality. So you don't really need these three attributes. So the framework provides a large language model for the agent based on the model and the API key that you passed in your environment variable. So I am just using this for because I am customizing my large language model. So next, let's create our tasks object. So I will be creating two tasks for each of my agent. One is for the research task, and the next is the report task. So the tasks object has two required attributes, the description attribute and the expected output. So the description attribute is just a clear, concise statement of what the task entails, while the expected output is a detailed description of what the task completion should look like. And you also have this agent attribute, so it basically just tells the framework whose task should this be. So in my case, the research agent is responsible for this task. So next, so now that you have created your tasks and agents, all you have to do now is to group them together using the crew framework, the crew class. So the crew class simply tells the framework that each of the agents and the tasks in this configuration are a team. So when the agent attribute accepts a list of agent objects, while the task attribute accepts a list of task objects. And the task's completion is accomplished task by task. So this task is done first, then before it moves into this task. So next, now that we have set up our crew, let us pass in a query for our multi-agent system. So you pass this dictionary variable into the kickoff function, and when you run this line, you get this function. You get this output. So as you can see, the research agent is the first to do its tasks based on what we prompted it to do. So this is the research task. So based on this task, the agent does this. As you can see. So now that the research agent has accomplished its tasks, that output is used by the reporter agent as an input for its tasks. So now that it is the reporter agent's turn, it does its task the same with the research agent based on what we prompted it to do and based on the output of the research agent. So based on those two factors, it was able to produce this, as you can see. So creating a multi-agent system using CrewAI is very easy and very abstracted. So you don't really need to dive much deeper into the multi-agent system uh, by itself because the framework abstracts it for you. So it becomes easier uh, even for people with minimal knowledge on large language models and uh, multi-agent system architecture. So uh, if you compare the framework to creating your own multi-agent system, uh, it becomes very long and cumbersome. As you can see, this lines of codes is just equivalent to one of these agent. So with just a few lines of codes, you were able to achieve this. And that is the beauty of CrewAI. You're able to create powerful multi-agent systems with minimal coding skills. So now let's move on. So now that we are done with how to create multi-agent system, let us move on to the advantages. So the advantages of CrewAI is that it is modular and scalable. It improves task automation. It is efficient in resource utilization. It enhances decision making. It is flexible. It can do parallel processing, and you can customize behavior. The disadvantages, on the other hand, is that it is quite complex to set up, especially for people with little to no background on multi-agent system architecture. So although it abstracts most of the concepts of multi-agent systems, you would still need a background knowledge uh, to be able to uh, maximize the framework. Second, it is high in computational costs. Debugging debugging can be challenging, especially if you don't have background knowledge on multi-agent system. It has latency issues. It is limited in documentation and adoption. Since CrewAI is a new technology for now, not many companies or people use this framework yet, and uh, documentation can be a limiting factor. And lastly, security risk. So that is all for my presentation. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, David, for the presentation. It was a really nice presentation.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
Okay, Anaya, I think we can stop recording now.
Are you
Okay, thank you, Vincent. It was bolo.
are you saying something?
No, now I mean like you can stop recording.